As I see all of this stuff coming out about KeionHenderson, from the lady crying out, him hushing her, and then they go on Tamara Hall's show to promote Shaunie's book, and then now he's going to have this cry out tour. The more I'm looking at all this stuff coming together, I'm beginning to think that this was all a huge production and that they knew, like Keon said, that this woman does this all the time. And I kind of am thinking that because Shaunie is a big producer of film, not film, but of TV programs, and she knew she had this book coming out. She knew she was going to be on the Tamara Hall show. Allegedly, I'm thinking she knew already, but normally they have that stuff booked way far in advance. I'm kind of thinking that maybe Shaunie said, listen, I need to promote my book. I need it to be big. I need something big. And she probably went to Keon and said, let's have service. When we have service on Sunday, we know the lady gonna be making noise. And I think we need a viral moment. So if you go viral, then I'm going to be able to be on Tamara Hall and they're going to be watching because they're going to be looking to see if you there. So why don't you do this? When the lady cry out like she always does, why don't you go over there and tell her, be quiet or hush or something like that. And then Keon was probably waiting for the moment when the lady cried out so he can go over there and hush her. They knew it was going to go viral because that's how production people do. They knew how to produce stuff. And then the moment it went viral, they were like, okay, now we're going to go over here to Tamara Hall's show and we're going to promote my book. People going to be watching because they waiting to hear what you have to say. Now, Keon, don't say anything until I be on Tamara Hall's show. So then that's what Keon did. And he get on the show and he say, I'll do it again. And that went viral again too. And then now they're like, okay, we know we got this cry out tour and his name Cry Out. And the lady was crying out and we need that to be big too. So we going to have that to be on here also, right in line with all of this going on. So I think it was all produced. I think all of this was a way for Keon and Shaunie to go viral. And they used this lady, allegedly. They allegedly used this lady because they knew this what she does. And they took the moment to allegedly use her for them to go viral, because it was to help promote Shaunie's book. I believe Shaunie was producing, allegedly, all this. It was used to help Shaunie's promotion of her book, allegedly. And Keon was like, well, we got the tour coming up, and it's called Cry Out, and it's going to all blend in together. And so let's go ahead and do it. That's my thought. That this was all set up and aligned because they knew the book and this conference was coming up. That's my thought. That's why I normally, before I run a story, I will wait a few days because I want to see what else is coming out. So as all this, because when stuff first starts, it's all kind of blurry and murky. But when you wait and you start letting the dust settle, you'll start seeing clearer what is really going on. And I believe, allegedly, that this was all a setup to get Keon and Shaunie set up for the two things that they had coming up, which was the book and the Cry Out tour. Boom. It went viral, and now we all know about it. Because if the woman would not have cried out, and if he would not have hushed her, we would not be knowing about Shaunie's book as broad as it is, and we would not be knowing about Keon's Cry Out tour as broad as it is. Production, produced, and that's what I think happened. Boom.
Please welcome Pastor Keon Henderson back to the show. Come on out. Welcome back to the show, because you were on our show figuring out your faith,
That's right.
and I love that Shaunie said you do this great job of merging culture, meaning the world, with what happens within the confines of the church.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your mission. How did you go viral this weekend?
Oh, my God. Oh, the noise.
Can I show it?
Yeah,
okay.
show it. You can
Before
show
we
it.
talk about how amazing your beautiful first lady is, I'm on my social media. My cousin lives in Houston, and Katie, she says, Pastor Keon is trending. I was like, what happened?
Right.
She said, go on the shade room. I said, the shade room? Let me play this moment. Let's play it.
Hey. Stop her. Hush, hush.
So, the backstory was there was a woman, and you could hear her making audible sounds. You turn around, you say, that hush.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, don't ma'am me.
Yeah.
I always tell people a snippet of video is not the total story.
Yeah.
So tell me what happened there.
Well, you know, social media is into cuts, not context.
Yeah.
And every suggestion that I got from every naysayer, I've already done. This is a 4-year battle, right?
Oh, this is ongoing.
This is ongoing. So I've already talked to her personally. I'd already had ushers go up to her. I've already had prayer warriors. I've had everything. So she did it publicly after being asked not to.
What is she? Is she crying? Is it an emotional break?
Well, you know, as a pastor, I know the difference between disturbance and worship. And what people have to understand, is that every time you hear a noise in church, it isn't worship. And so there has to be order. For instance, it's okay to applaud in this room right now. But if somebody got up and just started clapping right now, I'm sure somebody would bring order to the room.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I brought order to the room so people could hear God and not her. And I'd do it again if I needed to.
Wow. I think I see full circle, Shaunie, what you were talking about, bringing culture in with church. You are being, you know,